So by the time that you guys are watching this course right now, it means that you are an editor who has now understood how you can make raw footage look really good in Premiere Pro and how you can create text, subtitles, and captions inside of Premiere Pro. And now we get into our third stage, which is animations. And this stage, the first thing I want to let you guys know is it's going to be a little different, which is why I've dedicated the entire first course to breaking down what the animation theory even is. I just call this thing animation theory. It's just a concept of why are animations important? How do we set ourselves in the right mentality or mindset so that we can start making good animations? What kind of animations are we going to be learning inside of Premiere Pro, and what kind of animations should we do inside of After Effects? And just mainly, like, why is this stuff even important to clients? And how do we become better editors who can make better videos? So if you guys probably noticed, up until this point, it kind of feels like you're doing the basics or the fundamentals of any video. You're doing the cuts and you're doing the text, and the animations is the big part. And so now we're about to get into a section or a stage that is a lot more detailed. It is something that is a lot more it's a lot more, what's the right word? Maybe malleable would be the right word. It's something that you're going to be doing. You're going to be doing an input inside of video editing for the animations, and the output of it, those animations are going to play a huge role in how the video is perceived. So this is something that matters a lot when it comes to video editing. So I want you guys to just understand, like, animations is a huge part of video editing. And I've said this thing before in the first course. The way we use Premiere Pro is we rely on it to do what it is good at, and it's very good at pacing, at cutting, at allowing us to use sound effects and use music and color grading, obviously. However, it is not the best at animating. So I want you guys to keep this thing in mind. When it comes to this section, this stage, because it is such an important thing inside of video editing, because it makes up so much of the video, and I'm about to talk exactly about that in just a bit, we're going to be learning an entire program just to become amazing at this so that we can get hired as video editors and we can stand out against the competition. So with this being said, the first question to ask is, why are animations, or why do we even make animations? The reason we make animations in the first place is because the concept of editing is just this. There is someone who is speaking on camera and they're giving some kind of value, whether it be some kind of entertainment, whether it be some kind of education, some kind of lesson, whatever it is. The purpose of video editing is to make that value more perceivable, or to make the people watching it or watching the video able to comprehend and understand the value a lot more. And that's the first thing you need to understand, is that animations are not supposed to distract the viewer from the value. They are supposed to support the value which the speaker is saying and deliver that to the viewer in an easier way. It's because so many people understand things with images so much better, and we retain like 50% of information when it comes to images and only 20% when it comes to text, and maybe like 10% when it comes to hearing. So you have to keep that in mind. So the reason we use animations so much when it comes to video editing is because we want to show the things that we are saying, and we want to show the things which the creators are saying, and that's what we call the show not tell mentality. The show not tell mentality, if you've heard it being used before, is basically you just take what is being said and you find a way to show it with an animation. However, you have to understand that this animation that you're about to use has to only support the value which is being said, and it cannot be something that distracts the viewer away from the value which is being said. Which actually brings me to the second point in this big subject, which is like, why do we even make animations? We make animations so that people continue watching the video. That is the whole reason people enjoy videos these days. The reason viewers are so engaged in videos is because of high quality, attractive animations. And the best way you can get hired as an editor is if you are able to make those high quality, attractive animations. Why? Well, let's move on to our second question, which is, why are animations useful for us as video editors? Well, the reason animations are useful for us as video editors is because content creators out there, or business owners, whoever is trying to get into the content niche, wants their content to be successful. And successful just means more views, more leads, more money. That's basically all that it means. And for that content to be more successful, bring you more views, bring you more leads, and bring you more money, it has to be the kind of content that is, number one, high quality, and number two, very engaging. You cannot have engaging, low quality content perform well, and you cannot have high quality content but not engaging content perform well. It has to be both engaging and high quality. And the best way to do this is through high quality animations, because they allow the viewers to understand exactly what is happening in the video. And number two, they attract the viewer, they keep them interested in watching the video. Most of you guys have only watched my videos just because of how interesting the animations are in my intros. And that is one big thing that we need to keep in mind, is that people get more engaged the more interesting animations are. So it's kind of something like this. If you are a video editor, and as we mentioned before, right, these business owners, they want their content to perform well, so they need someone who can make those high quality animations. And if you're a video editor who can make those high quality, best of the best animations, then you are someone who can apply for those jobs. And you are someone who can get those jobs because all of a sudden you are someone who they can pay to make the best animations. All right. And that is kind of why we focus so much on like high quality animations, because all that clients care about is these high quality animations. As I mentioned to you guys earlier on in the intro, video editing is kind of split into two halves. One half of it being pacing, sound design, and music, and the other half being animations. And one of those halves you'll notice is like three things, right? It's pacing, cutting, sound design. And the other half is just animations. So animations makes up a lot of the video and is super, super crucial and very, very important. With that being said, I just want to quickly touch up on a point on where are we going to be using Premiere Pro and where are we going to be using After Effects. The way we're going to be using Premiere Pro for animations is nothing. We're not going to be doing a single animation inside of Premiere Pro when we become advanced editors. However, in order to understand animating in After Effects, we have to first learn animating in Premiere Pro. So in the next few courses, what I'm about to teach you guys is something which you guys are not ever going to be using to edit videos. So if comes a point where you are like, man, I'm not sure if I can replicate this in Premiere Pro, that doesn't really matter because you're going to just be replicating it inside of After Effects. So if there's ever a point in this entire masterclass where you feel like you don't understand what is happening and you can't replicate it inside of the program, I want you to just take it easy, and you probably will understand how to replicate it, but I still want you guys to take it easy because you're only going to be using After Effects to replicate these animations. And why do we do this? Because After Effects is a program that is built around one single purpose, which is animations, whereas Premiere Pro is built as a multifunctional program, which is why it allows us to do all these other things. But when it comes to animations, After Effects is the program that you want to be in. So what are we going to be learning inside of Premiere Pro? We're going to be learning a few basic and simple animations so that in the case that you guys only edited with Premiere Pro, you still understand how to make high quality animations. And what are we going to be learning with After Effects? With After Effects, we're going to be learning all kinds of animations, all kinds of editing styles, all kinds of, 3D animations, graphic animations, motion graphics, absolutely everything there is to animations. We're going to be learning that inside of After Effects. So what does that mean for you guys watching this next section of the course? Should you just stop caring about animations? Absolutely not. There comes a point where for you to become a great editor, right? You understand how to do the raw footage, how to do the text, but this is the big thing. And I'm just going to be honest with you. Like, if you don't know how to animate, you're probably not going to make it in 2025. So the big thing you have to understand is that for you, in order for you to become an amazing high quality video editor, you have to become amazing at animating. And that's what you have to be amazing at. So when I mentioned the topic of animations for you guys, I want you guys to start obsessing over how you can become better animators, because I want you guys to understand the correlation that it is. If you just are better animators, you will be better editors. You will make more money with video editing. If you are a better editor, you're going to attract better clients. You're going to perform better with your social brands. People are going to want you more in their jobs. You're going to get paid more. So if you want to get paid more, you better become amazing at animations. And for that reason, I'm going to spend the next few courses teaching you guys just theories. I'm not going to go into animating. First, we're going to learn some theories. We're going to talk about placement theories, how to put things together in order to make them look good. We're going to talk about color theories, how to color things in order that they may look good. And we're going to talk about the rarity, or how to keep things rare in a video and the way that they feel special and how minimalism works. After this, we're going to be creating 2 animations inside of Premiere Pro. Only 2, which are going to teach you basically all the concepts you need to create animations from there on. And if we need to, we will dive into nesting. And nesting is a complex subject, but we probably won't even need to dive into nesting. But with that being said, that's what you're going to be learning inside of Premiere Pro. 2 animations, which you can actually use to make most animations. There are 2 concepts. And the rest of it is just going to be theory. So I'd rather teach you guys the root, so the fundamentals, so that you can start building, instead of teaching you guys how to build without the fundamentals being there. So the fundamentals is, how do you put things together that in a way that makes them look good? How do you add colors in a way that makes them look good? And how do you keep them rare in a way that makes them look special? And once you know how to do all 3 of these, animations are going to be super easy. And after this masterclass is complete, once you guys learn sound design and music, which is the more important section for Premiere Pro, then you guys can dive into After Effects, master it, and you can learn a lot more about animating there. And finally, you'll be able to pick up different styles of animations using the editing style masterclasses that we have inside of the community. So I hope this is as clear as possible. And yeah, with this being said, let us dive right into our first course, which is going to be placement theory. I'll see you guys there.